Guten Yardening, everybody. We're going to wait just a little bit as folks trickle in before we get started here tonight. We're inside. We're in our basement this evening. It's a little bit windy outside, and we didn't want to have any wind distracting us from our conversation this evening. Plus, we have a really great setup in here. The camera, we got to work on a little bit, but the microphone setup looks like it's possible I could be a radio station DJ or something along those lines. So, but welcome tonight. We're really excited. Twyla Castang says it's majorly exciting. It's exciting for us. It was a month ago that we set up our giveaway. Mary G, we're glad to have you here as well. You believe it was a month ago we set up this contest or this giveaway with the idea being that if we could get a video to 1,000 views, that would be a pretty big deal for us. We had just hit 250 subscribers, and now we're almost to 400 in that month, and we're really excited about that as well. So we've been seeing some growth here at the channel. We've been making a lot of videos, which is a ton of fun for us, and it's one of those things where Ventura Sunflower, great to see you as well. It's one of those things where you you have so many different content ideas that you just have to start buckling down and getting them out there. So in the time since we've released that video, though, we've seen great support from the community here, the YouTube community and the gardening community as a whole. It's been a blast watching other channels out here, and I know there are some going to be here tonight, I'm sure. And so, yeah, we're excited to be here and to get to this point a month in where we can give away this seating square that we've been talking about on and off here and using quite regularly. So we're gonna wait to give it away before we're gonna let some other people come in and join our live stream before we give anything away. So take this time to see how everyone's going or how everyone's doing tonight and how things are going for you. I know we just hit a patch of a solid week of nonstop rain, and it wasn't until Sunday, so this past Sunday, 2 days ago, before we finally got a little sunshine around here. So our garden loved most of that rain, I would say. It got to a point where our new front yard and space, which is a mounded, 7 mounded beds, was doing absolutely fine because we had that mounded height there, and so we didn't have any flooding there. But you could see where our pathways were, where we had put down that ash mulch, where the water was retaining just a little bit. So we've been dealing with that for the past week, but once that rainfall starts and we get things going with the rain, the plants just love it. And from the time we planted just a short time ago in our front yard, everything is taken off. I mean, it's growing nonstop, which is really exciting for us, for sure. Along those lines, we have added a tremendous amount, even from our last conversation last Friday, we've added a tremendous amount to our fall garden here. Everything is in the ground for the most part. We're still always looking here and there, trying to get some more spinach in the ground actually. But we're still looking around. So how are your fall garden plans coming? You got any preparation happening? Anything going on your end out there? We'd love to hear about that too as we get into this. What you're growing or what you're planning to grow. We may be going a little over the top with our kohlrabi. We have, last I counted, I want to say we have 4, maybe 5 varieties of kohlrabi. So yeah, it's an obsession. It's officially an obsession. You can have, Ventura Sunflower says you can have all the ash falling on our heads. Oh man, I've been watching. I've been reading the stories. It's absolutely unbelievable. The left coast right now is just getting hammered. I feel terrible about that. I know they're working really hard to put an end to it all, but I hope everybody's safe where you are. There's been a lot of loss, and I know it's spread. I was talking to somebody who is originally from California last week. He's somebody I work with, and he said that it's become a yearly thing. The fires there. So we can only imagine the devastation there. And I hope things calm down very quickly. The lettuce is growing. It's amazing. The temperature cools off and the lettuce just seems to thrive. Isn't that wonderful? Well, at least it's cooled off here a little bit. Yeah, the lettuce is wonderful. We planted some lettuce into our one of our bales of hay, and it's taken off now. And so, we got some crop from earlier in the season, but it bolted pretty quickly once we hit that heat. So, no, I'm glad your lettuce is growing. Twyla, Mary, do you have anything in the garden right now? Anything that you're planning or planting out there as well? It's good to have that extension to the season. If you watched our video about the devastation we had from our windstorm a couple weeks ago, it tore down the hoop house that we had created, and that created a secondary problem that I suppose we should have anticipated, and that would be it exposed that area until we were able to put something back over top. It exposed that area to some of the critters. So I had to go back out there just recently and cover it back up as best we could. We had to lower the hoops just a little bit to try to deal with some of that, the ripping and the tearing caused by those 65-mile-an-hour winds. So, but now we've got it all covered back up, and I think everything in that long bed is doing just fine. So, yeah, it's a wonderful time now in terms of that transition to fall, but we're also hearing here, and we're in Zone 5, Wisconsin, we're hearing that next week it's going to be a little unseasonably cool. I don't know what that means. It says a few degrees below the average temperature, and I'm hoping that just means in the 50s. I'm not ready for that cold weather. I mentioned this, I think, in our last live show, but we have some pretty cold weather here in Wisconsin, and we're in southern Wisconsin. We don't even have it as bad as up north in northern Wisconsin. So, but yeah, if you are here and you check in, we're preparing here, and actually I've got it. I've got the seating square off to the side here. I'm going to show it off here in a little bit. I'm not going to open the box. You're going to get the box. Whoever wins is going to get it brand new in the box, but I'll tell you a little bit more about it. I should mention that we are, I would say, a couple days, a week, maybe away from our sweet potato harvest. If the weather gets too bad. If it doesn't get too cold, we're going to leave them in the ground as long as we can. But since a lot of them in the raised beds, we have to keep on top of that and make sure that any hard frost, anything like that would be really detrimental to preserving the sweet potatoes, and that's something we want to do. We want to have a big harvest. I would say for us, a big harvest this year is going to be, I don't know. I was talking to, or Geeky Gardens was commenting on our channel a while back, and he said that he never really goes ahead and says, I'm going to tell you how much I'm going to get for potatoes. I'm going to tell you how much I'm going to get for sweet potatoes. He's right. You can't. Those are a crop you can't predict because they're underground. But we're really, really hopeful for a solid sweet potato harvest, especially given that we planted maybe half the amount last year that we planted this year. We really went all out with our sweet potatoes. I think it was probably, right there with potatoes in terms of the amount that we planted overall. Ventura Sunflower says, what is a hard freeze? That's where we would get somewhere in the neighborhood of 27 to 28 degrees Fahrenheit. You get that frost layer that can really kill it. To give you an example, last year we got hit with a little bit colder freeze than we anticipated, and it went from the day before everything lush and green to the morning after the freeze. I mean, like overnight that morning, the leaves were black. It just blackened everything. It destroyed the foliage. We had to get out there and we harvested really quickly after that point. We have made mistakes about this in the past. Our our carrot harvest a couple of years ago, we may have allowed the ground to get a little bit. We waited too long, is what I'm saying. And so, pulling them out of the frozen ground, you really reduce the lifespan and storage of any of these crops. And so, you got to keep an eye on it. The weather right now, this time of year going forward, we're going to keep our eye on the weather as much as possible. And if we see the potential for a frost, if we see the potential for a heavy freeze, we know that some crops can handle that frost. Like carrots can handle a frost. Our kale, our Brussels sprouts, those like that cooler weather. They'll be fine. They'll sweeten up even more in many cases. But if there's a really cold dip coming our way, that's where we're looking out to make sure that we're not going to have any problems from, we're gonna harvest as much as we can. And then some of our other vegetables, I've been watching some videos from folks up in Saskatchewan and a few other places where they had an early freeze, an early frost, and it just devastates your garden in general. You have to pull everything out. So so we are going in the direction of our seeding square now. And I want to show you a little bit. Let me see here. If you can see, let's see. Everything's reversed. There we go. Everything's reversed. So I have to get it right when it's mirrored in the camera here. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the seeding square again, just so you know exactly what is in here. We bought one of these about a season and a half ago, and we used it exclusively this season. The seeding square, I'll turn it around. The seeding square inside here is a seed it, move on kind of deal. So you're not spending time thinking about spacing because that's a predetermined set, and I'll show you that in a second. You're not spending time worried about overseeding because that's not something that you have to. You're not dropping 10, 15 seeds in a hole by accident. It's a much easier process. So I'm going to bring this in close here and show you again the pieces that you get. So you're getting the seeding square, and the seeding square is, I would say, about a half an inch thick on the edges, and then it's just about an eighth of an inch thick in the middle area. And so you set this down on the soil. You press it into the ground so that the soil comes right up to where the holes are, and you also then get the poker here that has the depth measurement on the side. You poke the appropriate depth for each one of these, and then you can take seeds on the other side. There's a little scoop, and then you also have a funnel, so you can take the seeds out of your hand or however you want to grab them. I usually cup them in my hand and then use the funnel, the scoop to pull them out, and then you drop them right in the hole. The hole's the appropriate depth for the seeds you're looking for. Depending on the seed, it may be a quarter inch, half inch, whatever. It sets it up appropriately. Then you can pick the square up, sit it off to the side, and just either sprinkle or cover those holes. So inside this, you get the seeding square, the spoon and wand, the funnel, and then a planting guide. Now the planting guide is this sheet of paper right there, and it has 4 different colors, and the colors correspond to the colors of the holes on here. So the colors of the holes are spaced according to the type of crop that you are growing. So some of the crops require really close seeding. Some of the crops require a much wider seeding, but you can look at the chart and use that chart to determine, and it's a color-coded chart, so you can use that color-coded chart to determine which holes you're going to choose to plant your seeds in. So the seed packets typically tell you the depth, and then you just look up, am I planting beets, am I planting corn, am I planting spinach, whatever it is, carrots, whatever you're planting, it will tell you the approximate width apart by telling you which color hole to plant in. And it's that simple. Super quick, very efficient. So it's not just efficient in time, it's especially efficient in seeds. And I've seen other methods that people have talked about in terms of planting things like carrots, radishes, etc. And I know, yes, Raylan, the chart is definitely consistent with the seed packets. Yes, we've had no issue with that at all. That's a great question. We just got done planting radishes. In fact, we're going to have, we plan to have a video here in the next week or so where we take you through planting another set of radishes, which is something that we've been doing a lot of succession planting of radishes because they're so quick and delicious. So this is a kind of square foot gardening, square foot planting that we're able to do with this. And again, last season when we planted carrots, we went through that phase of dropping too many seeds in the holes, planting them at incorrect spacing. Even though we knew what the spacing was, I mean, it's hard to be patient, but this sort of removes any of that guesswork, and you go through. They're not a sponsor. I'm not sitting here telling you about this because because suddenly I'm getting paid. It's just that simple, and it's that effective for us. We've loved doing it. Loved using this square. So what we're going to do here is we're going to send out the square to a person who is one of our commenters, and I'm going to move over to that now. And I'll show you. I'm going to leave the live chat. All right, here we go. So this is, as I pull this up here, this is a wheel, a randomizer wheel that has all of your names, all of the commenters. We had over 45 unique commenters added. So I've added all the names. I've added it to the circle here. And this is, again, completely at random. I'm going to shuffle it a couple more times because that just seems like something we should do here. But all of the names of all the people who left comments are on here. I should say there is one person that if they win, they have asked to not receive the square because they, upon our recommendation, they bought one the last time that when we talked it up in one of our videos. And so Essayon's Family Garden, if Essayon's Family Garden watches this and if they win, they've asked me to click the wheel again. But if you are on, if you left a comment, your name should be on here. And actually, I will go through, I'll scroll through slowly, and you can check your names and make sure I didn't miss one of you. So if you are in here live right now and you look through, I tried my best to also practice pronunciations ahead of time just to make sure I didn't go through and mess up anybody's name. But I also believe I spelled everyone's names correctly, whether it was your name or your channel name. So you should all be here in this list. If anybody doesn't see their name in this list before I click go, you let me know and I will go back through and I will make sure your name is added. But I went through again today and did a double check, but you never know. And so it's all completely random here. This is a pretty cool website. It's called wheelofnames.com. I went through it earlier today and clicked it multiple times just to make sure it was completely at random. And it was. I won't tell you who won those first few because it didn't count because it wasn't live time. So I'm going to give you a second. If anybody in here did not see your name, you can leave a thumbs up if you did see your name. That'd be pretty cool. If you're one of the folks who is in here, Ventura Sunflower is dehydrating and crushing radishes as we speak. We had a couple radishes that didn't didn't perform too well. I think it was an issue of a little too much rain a while back, and we went through and made some with rice. So added some rice flavor there, and it was absolutely delicious. We also did the same thing with mac and cheese. So we added some radishes to our mac and cheese. I know it sounds strange to try some of these things, but really, really absolutely fabulous. All right, I think, let's see. I see Raylyn has a thumbs up, so Raylyn knows, very nice, that you are here on the chart. I know I see, I believe I see everybody else who's here on the chart. So we're going to go ahead and spin this wheel. Now, it's not at all anticlimactic, and I hope, I don't know who's going to win, but I hope it's one of you here that's live today. If not, well, we'll congratulate the winner, regardless of who it is. So I'm going to go through right now, and I'm going to shuffle 2 more times, because why not? And I'm going to click here in the middle, and we're going to see who we're going to send this square to. So I should say before I do click this, I will leave a comment beside the person who wins. I'll leave it by their comment. I'll leave my email address, or our business email address there, and they can send us an email with their address, and we'll ship it out within 24 hours of the person who wins. When they get back to us, we will ship it out right away. So here we go. If I had the ability for a drum roll, I guess that counts. Let's see. Ooh. It is Anya Schmidt. Well, Anya Schmidt is not on the call tonight, but that wasn't a requirement to win. And so, Anya Schmidt, congratulations. If you see this, when you see this video, I will leave a note by the comment, and you will be the winner. Wow, that is impressive. All right, I'm going back to the live. Well, thank you all so much. We hope you enjoyed this little giveaway. Congratulations again to Anya Schmidt for winning. I think that's pretty impressive. Thank you for commenting, all of you. We really couldn't even have come close to 1,000 views without your help. We couldn't have come nearly as far as we have without your assistance. I really hope that here in the next couple of weeks we can still have the weather that we need to continue to harvest having amazing harvests in general, and I think that's going to be the case for us. We've had a lot of fun so far, and we're going to keep bringing you these videos. And again, more than anything else, we appreciate the ability to spend time with our community and present what we're doing to the community. Raylyn, thank you so much for coming. Ventura, Sunflower, thank you for coming. Twyla, thank you for coming. Mary, thank you for coming. All of the people here who have been supporting us, we really, really appreciate your time. So we're going to end it tonight. Again, congratulations. DDWRO1. Thank you so much for being here as well. And again, to everyone who's here, we appreciate it. And as I say in the videos, and so I would be bereft if I didn't say it tonight, just remember, when you're with us, folks, you are good to grow. And I'm going to stop the video now. I hope you have a wonderful evening. And don't forget to continue growing as much as you can, and we'll do the same thing. Thank you very much. You enjoy that pot of potatoes, and we'll be in great shape. Have a great night, everybody.